Hello, welcome to PMI Ghana Chapter Professional Development Online Webinar. My name is Malta Komlaata, and our topic today is on executive intelligence. I would like to acknowledge the works of Menkes Justin, What All Great Leaders Have. It's a good read, and I encourage all to read this book. Our outline for today, we'll be looking at executive intelligence, an overview, what executive intelligence is, executive intelligence skills. We'll look at executive intelligence versus other indicators, the executive intelligence gap, then identifying and developing executive intelligence, and conclusions. Let's look at these people as a scope, as a screen. Aliko Dangote, Jack Ma, Joseph Siao in Japan, Kwame Despite, Mark Zuckerberg, Oprah Winfrey, and Steve Jobs. What do all these people have in common? They are described in various ways as stars, masters of their game, geniuses, smarts, rare species, the right people. Management theories abound, so many. And years of research and interviews with business executives show that the most effective leaders possess a certain quality. Its ability to provide customized solutions, and also these solutions break new grounds and create value. This quality is what is known as executive intelligence. What therefore is executive intelligence? It's a distinct set of aptitudes that an individual must be able to demonstrate in three central contexts of work. Three central contexts. The first is the accomplishment of task. Second is working with and through others. And the third, judging people and adapting one's behavior accordingly. Executive intelligence therefore consists of a set of consistent interrelated skills that form the foundation of smart executive behavior. Star leaders possess high executive intelligence, which partly determines their success rate. The more proficient an individual is in all these three areas, the higher his or her level of executive intelligence. Executive intelligence therefore does not consist of a single ability or isolated skill. It is a blend of critical aptitudes that guide an individual's decision-making process and behavioral path. EXI, or executive intelligence, it has its roots in what is commonly known as critical thinking. But it is not the same as abstract logic and reasoning skills often associated with critical thinking. It is rather an expanded and applied type of critical thinking. It specifically is how an individual skillfully uses the available information as a guide to thought and action. what are some of the importance of executive intelligence in accomplishment of tasks? You need to make smart, on-the-spot decisions to accomplish a task. For proactive and innovative thinking outside the box, anticipating. For emotional stability, and emotional stability is important in dealing with people. Also, to ensure high level of productivity, executive intelligence is required. There are 17 individual skills that comprise executive intelligence, and to consistently outperform, one would need these cognitive skills. Let us consistently bear in mind that executive intelligence is seen in three main areas: in accomplishment of tasks, working with and through people, and judging oneself. Therefore, these 17 skills will also be seen or be required in these three areas. There are about 6 skills in task accomplishment. One would need to be able to appropriately define a problem and differentiate essential objectives. Be able to anticipate likely obstacles to achieving your objectives. Be able to critically examine the accuracy of assumptions being relied on. Need to be able to articulate strengths and weaknesses of suggestions and arguments. You also need to be able to obtain the relevant and accurate information that's needed. Not every information is accurate and relevant. Finally, you need to be able to use multiple perspectives to identify likely unintended consequences of various actions. If you're not able to do this, you'll be always caught hands down or pants down. There are about 6 skills also regarding people. In your exchange with people, you need to recognize conclusions that can be drawn. You should also be able to recognize underlying agendas and motivations of individuals or groups. People could have hidden agendas or motivations for undertaking a particular endeavor. And so you need to be able to recognize this. There's a need to anticipate emotional reactions of individuals that will result from certain actions or communications. Once you're working with people, conflicts would happen, and therefore you need to accurately identify core issues and perspectives that are central to the conflicts, so you could solve conflicts should they arise. You also need to be able to appropriately consider effects and consequences, unintended consequences that may result from taking a particular course of action. And finally, you need to recognize and balance the different needs of all relevant stakeholders. Executive intelligence skills regarding yourself, about 5 skills. You need to encourage feedback that may reveal error in judgment. Then you make appropriate adjustments. You should be able to recognize your own biases and limitations, and then use it to improve your thinking and planning. You need to recognize flaws in your own ideas and actions, requiring swift acknowledgement of your mistake and a change in direction. You need to articulate flaws in the arguments of others while reiterating the strength of your own position. Finally, resist objections of others where you have to, but at the same time remain committed to a sound course of action. You need to consider executive intelligence versus other indicators in helping us understand executive intelligence better. Executive intelligence versus knowledge. Knowledge can be described as information that can be recalled about a phenomenon. Executive intelligence, however, it refers to the skill with which one applies knowledge to achieve a desired goal. You need a skill to apply the information about a phenomenon to achieve a desired goal. If you have that information but not applying it to achieve a desired goal, you are not being executively intelligent. Executive intelligence versus intelligence. Here, I refer to a quote by Jim Kilt's, former CEO of Gillette, who observed that many top business leaders have attended academic institutions, and this education can serve as a good foundation. The ability to think critically and understand concepts. So a doctorate can be an indication of intellectual horsepower. But in a business setting, you must be able not to only generate ideas, but translate those ideas into results. And that is the hardest thing, and it requires abilities that go beyond academic skills. So looking at executive intelligence versus academic intelligence, if you have the ability to think critically and understand concepts, and you can even generate ideas, but can't translate these ideas into results, you basically have done nothing. And therefore, executive intelligence goes beyond academic skills. Yes, the academic skills form the foundation, but you need to go beyond. Critically think and generate ideas. Finally, translate these ideas into results. Executive intelligence versus personality. Here again, I'll refer to a remark by Pat Russo, who said, charisma, presence, they are nice to have. We see very interesting charismatic leaders, and they are good. But in the end, it's one's capability, competence, and leadership that gets results. You can have all the charisma in the world, but if you're not effectively leading, managing, getting results, it won't matter. All that charisma, it won't matter. Now, what are the executive intelligence gaps that we have? Surveys have shown that 80% of executives feel their peers frequently fail to achieve their objectives. They recognize the fact that even their colleagues are not living up to expectations. Also, existing leadership theories has confused and distracted us from focusing on key performance criteria. Therefore, we have a managerial population that is weak in executive intelligence. Corporate failures have been attributed to poor executive judgment. In fact, that has been the most important factor in corporate failures, studies have shown. Also, too many business leaders take action without thinking and are completely unaware of the cost of this. These are the few executive intelligence gaps that we see every day. And therefore, how do we identify and develop executive intelligence? These abilities that comprise executive intelligence can be learned, practiced, and improved, and it becomes a habit. Research has also shown or proven that thinking skills can be increased through specialized instructions that provide students with tailored guidance and feedback along each step of the decision-making process. Learning to think more skillfully requires time and determination, but it can be done. Also, exposure to new and unfamiliar roles would help identify and develop executive intelligence. Giving people a challenge any day would help. Putting people in roles they are not familiar to throws a challenge to them, will require them to think more critically, to come up with innovative ideas, to come up with brilliant results. Last but not the least, also mentoring and shadowing. Executive intelligent people could mentor others and help them become executively intelligent. We need to recognize that payoffs from improving an individual's critical skills can have a positive effect on himself, on his co-workers, and the organization as a whole. Executive intelligence should cascade through the organization and not be limited to the CEO and top management. A former CEO of Avon Products remarked that you can't grow a business around 2 to 3 thinkers anymore, because your success depends on quality decisions at every level, and therefore everyone has to be able to think smart. We've gone past the time where the growth of the business is around 2, 3, 4 top management people. Now that is not possible. The whole organization should be able to think smart, from the highest position or from the highest earner to the least earner or least position. Everyone has to be able to think smart to have a successful organization. In conclusion, academic intelligence is good. and has been proven for nearly a century to have substantial impact on managerial success. Now, however, with the recognition of executive intelligence, we finally have a means of ensuring that people who are given decision-making responsibilities within organizations will be skillful enough to make those decisions well. Clear thinkers, the ones that can call everything right down to the right point, they can be very hard to find. But if you get yourself a team of clear thinkers, the possibilities are endless. They are good listeners and are thoughtful. They apply those traits to any set of issues with which they are engaged. They have the ability to listen openly, reflect on varying viewpoints, and rapidly synthesize what is useful and meaningful when dealing with a particular issue. They quickly get to the core of a business. We also need to recognize that decision-making in today's business environment is decentralized, no longer centralized. Decisions are made at the local level or at functional or operating levels. And therefore, once again, everyone has to think smart. If you don't have the right amount of quality thinking in a complex growth organization, it is going to manifest itself in terms of marginalized decisions or discussions, that rely on wrong inputs and unskilled questions. And that's what will drag a business down. Assembling teams of clear thinkers, those with high executive intelligence, is essential for organizational success. Thank you for joining us. Join us another time for another interesting presentation.